In 1986, a pair of Pakistani brothers, Basit and Amjad Farooq Alvi, introduced the world to Brain, a virus that would go on to change the world of computing forever. But interestingly enough, Brain wasn't created with malicious intent. It was, in fact, the very first example of what is now known as a boot sector virus, and it was designed to serve as a sort of security measure. To understand Brain, let's first consider what a computer virus is. In the simplest terms, a computer virus is a type of malicious software or malware that can replicate itself by infecting other computer programs or files. This replication can lead to a host of problems, from slowing down systems to damaging or stealing data. And while this all sounds ominous, Brain wasn't originally intended to cause harm. It was more of a prank, a form of digital graffiti. The creation of Brain. The Alvi brothers were running a software business in Lahore, Pakistan, and had developed a program to copy and share floppy disks. The problem they encountered was that pirated versions of their software were circulating, and they were not getting paid for these unauthorized copies. So they decided to take action by creating a virus. Brain worked by infecting the boot sector of a floppy disk. When a user inserted the infected disk into a computer, Brain would silently copy itself onto the system's hard drive. The virus would then display a simple message on the screen saying, "Welcome to the dungeon," and it would mark the floppy disk as infected. The virus didn't damage the data on the disk, but it did make it difficult for others to use or distribute pirated versions of software. However, the virus wasn't immediately harmful. It didn't steal data or cause permanent damage. Its primary function was more of a signature, a way for the Alvi brothers to claim ownership of their software, while also helping them track unauthorized copies. In a way, Brain was more of a digital watermark than a malicious virus. The legacy of Brain. While Brain wasn't a destructive virus in the way we think of them today, it marked the beginning of what would become a constant cat-and-mouse game between hackers, programmers, and antivirus developers. It's important to note that Brain wasn't the first example of malicious software. It was simply the first widely recognized computer virus to spread in the wild. Before Brain, there were other instances of self-replicating code, but they weren't as widespread or impactful. What set Brain apart was its ability to spread through floppy disks, which were commonly used to transfer data at the time. By the late 1980s, Brain was discovered by researchers and antivirus companies, and it soon became clear that the world of computing was vulnerable to attacks that could cause widespread damage. This realization led to the creation of the first antivirus programs, designed to detect and neutralize viruses like Brain. Lessons learned. So what can we learn from the story of Brain? First, it's a reminder that in the early days of computing, the potential for both innovation and security risks was just beginning to be understood. The Alvi brothers didn't envision Brain as a weapon. Rather, it was a way to protect their software. But its spread served as a wake-up call to the computing world. Brain also demonstrates the importance of cybersecurity. As technology evolves, so do the threats. What started as a relatively harmless virus has led to an entire industry dedicated to defending against more sophisticated and harmful threats that we see today, such as ransomware and data breaches. In conclusion, while Brain wasn't the malicious virus we might think of today, its creation marked the start of a new era in digital security, one where vigilance, innovation, and constant adaptation are key.